Hey, hello, and welcome everybody to our session for Mastering RMM. And good morning, good evening from whatever locations you're being connected with us. And today I have Deepak with me to talk about our fun and exciting network monitoring piece of it. But there are a couple of things that he would like to share as items that you should know about it. So take over, Deepak.
Hey, thanks, Amit. Yeah, today's session is called Don't Knock It Till You Try It. We're going to touch on a very high level about what, first of all, we want to talk about the new advanced network monitoring that came out. We'll talk about it on a very high level. But beyond that, we do want to talk about specifically about the things that you can do before reaching out to the NOC support, and then what is the scope of the NOC support with respect to network monitoring. All right, so let's quickly get started here. So this is the network monitoring and management advanced is now available as part of our May release. So if you have not yet tried it, highly recommend that you check it out. So as part of the basic network, as part of CWRMN Pro and Premium, you get your basic network monitoring, which is all the features that you see listed out there. But then now with the May release, you also have a new option to upgrade to the advanced network monitoring. Now, this is a paid add-on, and you get a lot more features, as you can see in the column over there. So big thing to notice here is you get a lot more alerts, about 60 alerts available with the network monitoring and management advanced. You get full configuration backup, which right now we're going to be releasing the current configuration for a basic network monitoring. But if you have the advanced network monitoring, you will be able to see the full configuration backup as well as the history. So again, a lot of features out there. In terms of monitoring and troubleshooting, as I mentioned, with the basic, you just have a couple of alerts. With the advanced network monitoring, you're going to have 60 alerts out of the box. So a ton of monitoring and alerts coming your way with respect to the devices that are being managed. And then you'll also be able to see the graphs and the bandwidth utilization within the Orbic UI for these managed devices. And you'll also have option to add custom SNMP pollers within the Orbic UI. So a lot of great features. We'll be talking more in depth in the next session about the advanced network monitoring, how you can enable it, how you can upgrade, downgrade, and all the fun stuff around it. Some tricks, some things that will help you monitor your network devices much better. So make sure you join us in the session tomorrow for network monitoring tips and tricks. Let's talk about network probe. So when we talk about network probe, we're really talking about essentially the Orbic collector that gets installed on the endpoint, which will start collecting the information for the RMM, for the managed network devices. So here, let me zoom out here. So a network probe essentially shows up as an icon on your devices page. You can go ahead and deploy a network probe on any Windows server or desktop that you wish. When the network probe gets deployed, the RMM agent automatically starts installing it. It creates the company's insights within Orbic. Essentially, the onboarding process gets started. The probe gets installed. We get the success back, and then we start monitoring the site. As and when Orbic starts detecting network devices, the information starts flowing into the ASIO portal. So this is the basic of how a network probe works. Now, obviously, with the network probe, there may be issues that you may run into. So today, I'll just talk very briefly about what are some of the steps that you can take to try and get maybe your network probe up and running. Try to figure out if the issue or if what you're seeing requires some additional inputs from the support team. So first up, let's go to the network devices page and let's jump into Orbic real quick. So I'm going to go to network devices. Then I'm going to click on manage, which will take me to my Orbic instance. As you can see on my RMM instance, I have 3 network probes installed. You'll see the companies associated with it and the sites associated with it. we will have a similar sort of setup within Orvik as well, because these companies and sites are automatically created and mapped. So you'll see those companies and sites created. Now let's try to deploy a network probe and see what happens. So I'm going to take a site where a network probe doesn't exist already. So I'm going to take this site Alpha AI and try to go deploy a network probe on it. Click on Manage, click on Network Probe, and go and confirm it. So you'll see that pop up. So first of all, you should get that pop up acknowledging that we have received the request. You will see a spinning icon over here. That sort of indicates that the network probe deployment is in progress, as you can see on that mouse hover. But beyond that, what's happening under the hood in the backend is the ASIO system is now speaking with Orvik, making sure that the site and company gets created. So as you'll see, we now have Alpha AI created here, which means the company is now created. We can refresh the screen and see if the site has also created. Check again, right? So as you can see, company is created. So now in these process, if there's ever an issue where either the company does not get created, site does not get created, in this cases, you should be able to retry the deployment, and the next deployment should work just fine. So the spinning icon would stop, and you can go ahead and retry the deployment. In this case, as you can see, it went through successfully. I have my company created. I have my site created. I go back, and I can see that the company and site is created. Now, in certain cases, the company and sites get created, but when the RMM agent is trying to deploy the Orvik probe, so because that is the next step, the company is created, the site is created, now we need the network probe to be installed associated with that company and site. That is where, again, the spinning icon will also come into picture. So if you have company created, site created, but this is still spinning after a few hours, at that point, maybe there is a deployment issue with the network probe. At that point, you can always reach out to our support team. They will help you with issues related to network probe deployment. So in general, we do get a lot of questions from partners about what is the scope of the NOC team or the support team when it comes to the new network monitoring and management. So you may have a service level of elite server care with you, but that server care only provides you support for servers and desktop. As part of network monitoring and management, the NOC team support scope is limited to providing help with any issues in the product itself. But if you have issues with the network device, that is not a support that you would be getting from the support team. So in those cases, you would have to understand what the cause of the issue is and try to resolve. So if you have the advanced network monitoring, you will get alerts for such issues, and they may also include information of what you can do to resolve. All right, so it's been a while. Let me just try to refresh my screen, see what's going on with this network probe. Right, so on this machine, right, this one is still in progress. So in such cases, it's always, if it runs longer than maybe an hour or so, and it's still in a running state, maybe you have an issue. Another thing that you can check, make sure that your RMM agent is up to date. So on this device, I can check the version of the RMM agent. Pick up another device here. Sorry. Yeah, so we can check the version of the RMM agent, make sure it's current. If it's not, that can also cause issues with network probe deployment. Right, let's just go back here. So quickly reiterating what we have in terms of the support scope as well as what we have with the network probe. So the probe is supported on any Windows server and desktop. If you add a new collector against a site, the first one will be automatically approved, but any additional collector that you add for a site will require you to do an approval within Orvik. So we can also go check that option here. So if I go back to my site, I can pick up. I go to the specific site, go to Orbit collectors. So if you see more than one collector here, some of them may be stuck in pending approval, go ahead and approve them. Ideally, you may not need more than one network probe per subnet, but if you do have reason to have them, that's okay. You can always go ahead and approve them from the Orbit UI. Only when the probe is approved from the Orbit UI will this information start populating on the UI. And last but not least, right, support is there to help you with any product issues related to probe deployment, related to the network monitoring product in general. But if you have issues with your specific network devices, that is something that you would have to address by yourself. If you need more information, we do have additional references available within the documentation. Feel free to pause and scan the QR code. That'll directly get you to the documentation hub. It has links to the network monitoring and management features and functionality, the differences between advanced and basic, and a lot more documentation to go over. And as usual, we encourage you to join our virtual community to ask any questions. You can revisit these recordings and then have any conversations with any of our teams. So thanks so much for joining us in today's session. We look forward to you joining us on the Tuesday session, and we have an extended session on Thursday where we'll be talking in depth about network monitoring and management. Thank you.